From Bitcoin, blockchain or distributed ledger technology to cryptocurrencies, tokens and initial coin offerings, it seems everyone involved has something to say, but can you really trust their advice? One man's had enough of weasel words and charlatans and is ready to give you impartial, independent analysis. With digestible blockchain bites, ICO analysis, and need-to-know news on cryptocurrencies, author, speaker, transparency and clarity advocate, and award-winning software innovator, Barry James brings you Radio ICO.
Hello again, it's Barry James for ICO Radio and Blockchain Bites. And today we're going to talk about Kinesis. And I have with me Ryan Case from Kinesis. Welcome, Ryan.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. And I'm keen to hear more and to understand about Kinesis. I know a lot of people will be. So, but first of all, before we do that, would you just introduce yourself a bit in your role and how you got into this whole world? What got you here?
Certainly. Thanks, Barry. So my name is Ryan Case. I'm the head of sales and trading at Kinesis. This journey for me started, the better part of a decade ago when I was one of the first employees at a company called Allocated Bullion Exchange, which is a public Australian company. We provide a institutional physical precious metal exchange, complete with 7 pricing, storage, and delivery locations around the world.
Wow.
And really, Kinesis is the evolution of that. So really putting physical gold and silver onto the blockchain, allowing people to use gold and silver as the currencies they once were. So we've actually got a lot of the experience in the physical precious metal markets, a lot of the technology already in place, and as I said, this is the evolution of that.
Okay, so ABX is an existing business that does all that, and you're at the leading edge of this kind of new outcrop from that. Is that right?
Yeah, embracing the benefits and the evolution of blockchain technology. Great.
And what's your role?
So as head of sales and trading, I look after the sales desk across our multiple offices around the world. This is actually the second ICO that I have participated in. I was actually previously the head of partnerships at a previous multi-million-dollar ICO. So I have experience in the blockchain space prior to this. And then once we actually get up and running with the Kinesis currencies, we will be bringing our exchange expertise into this space with other liquidity providers, liquidity partners providing liquidity for our currencies, ensuring that people have the ability to very easily and efficiently trade them.
Okay. And are you able to say the name of the other ICO?
Yeah, certainly. I worked as head of partnerships at a ICO called ThinkCoin.
Cool. Okay. Well, maybe we'll talk about that another time. So tell me, assuming we've got listeners who aren't familiar with Kinesis, what it is. Fundamentally, it's to do with returning to the gold standard.
Yes, certainly. So an evolution almost of the gold standard,
okay.
I would say. So what we've done is we've created 2 unique currencies, one we called KAU and one we called KAG. And these are actually based on physical gold and silver that is stored in vaults that actually provides the base value for these currencies. And indeed, people can actually even redeem the Kinesis currencies for the underlying physical gold and silver.
Okay. But there's more to it than that, isn't there?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's not just these gold and silver currencies. We've really added multiple facets to that. So we've also used our exchange space expertise with ABX to create the Kinesis blockchain exchange, providing people and users of these currencies access to deep liquidity for them. We've signed a partnership allowing us to roll out a Kinesis debit card, so people can actually convert their currencies into fiat, allowing people to spend their currencies at point of sale.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this has been done on a proprietary fork of the Stellar blockchain. So we've actually created our own fork of Stellar, meaning that we've got extremely fast transaction speeds and can use this globally really efficiently, really easily.
Okay, so I can own gold or silver. It sits in your vaults and you look after it, I understand, for free?
Yep, so it's actually independent third-party vaults using our ABX infrastructure that we've built up over the course of many, many years. It's independent third-party vaults. It's fully insured. It's audited. And it's allocated legal title. Now that's actually important because what allocated legal title means is it doesn't actually sit on our balance sheet as Kinesis. It's not on the ABX balance sheet. It's not on the vault provider's balance sheet. And this is often considered one of the most safe and secure ways to own and store physical precious metals outside of, there's no counterparty risk, so to speak, under this method.
Mm-hmm. But I can transfer that electronically via your blockchain to someone else.
Yep. So using our Stellar blockchain, very high, fast transaction speeds. You can send it from your Kinesis e-wallet to another Kinesis e-wallet very quickly, very efficiently, very easily.
Okay, so give me a feel for that. How quickly and at what sort of cost? And are we talking only about transactions in the tens of thousands of dollars level or much lower?
No, we've looked at this as a way that you can buy your coffee or pay your bills or send money to a relative in another country. So using the technology that we have, it facilitates around the 3,000 transactions per second. So much higher than your typical Bitcoin or Ethereum transactions per second speed. So going for that monetary system, the transaction speed was very important to us. And in terms of the fees, it's only a 0.45% of whatever value is sent that we charge as our transaction cost. And in fact, that is actually then accumulated by Kinesis, and we remit a portion of that back out to the users of the monetary system and the holders also of the Kinesis currencies as a unique form of yield, actually, to actually encourage people to join our monetary system, to spend and send and use their currencies. We don't really want people to purely just hold these. We want that velocity in our system of people actually embracing this as a currency and as a monetary system.
Okay, so I could send you some cash, £1,000 or £100, buy an equivalent amount of gold or silver sitting in a vault. That would cost me something, I presume.
Yeah, so we actually have you have a few ways of doing that. You can go onto the Kinesis blockchain exchange, deposit your currency, and then buy the Kinesis currencies. So deposit your fiat, your sterling or your USD into the Kinesis blockchain exchange. Use that to buy the Kinesis KAU or KAG gold or silver currencies, and that would then be held in your wallet. Now you're free to send that or spend it on the debit card, actually use it as a form of currency, or you can even, if you've got physical gold or silver holdings that are stored in a vault and are subject to the quality assurance requirements that we have, you can even introduce that in and use that to be brought about into the digitized onto the blockchain. transfer it into the Kinesis currencies, put that in your Kinesis wallet, and again, send those, spend those, trade those on the Kinesis blockchain exchange.
Okay, cool. And what if I happen to be, I wish, a Bitcoin or an Ether millionaire? Can I buy in with that?
Yeah, certainly. So we have the plan to provide our currencies crossed against Bitcoin, Ethereum, other cryptos, providing that ramp for people to come in and convert existing currencies, which have these they're very volatile. I think a lot of people acknowledge that,
Yeah.
and convert those into a cryptocurrency that has a physical commodity with really historically a very a much more stable price, at least compared to cryptocurrencies recently, and convert it into our gold and silver cryptocurrencies.
And presumably because it's pegged to the physical commodity, the gold or the silver, I'm exposed to the value hopefully going up, but could go down in that.
Yeah, certainly. So our Kinesis currencies do have that underlying physical gold or silver behind them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not quite that. If I hold physical gold or silver in a vault, I'm paying my storage fees, I'm paying my insurance. I'm not able to actually very easily spend those. I've got no liquidity on those.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Kinesis currencies, I am able to access these various yields that I've mentioned. Now, these yields are even for holding it. You get what we call the holder's yield, which is a percentage share of the revenues from the system. You get a minter yield. So when I mentioned that you can actually bring in your existing gold and convert it into Kinesis currencies, you get what we call a minter yield once you've actually put those coins into motion by sending them or spending them or trading them. And there's also a depositor yield. So the first time you bring in fiat currency and use that to buy the Kinesis currencies, you also get that depositor yield. So there is that benefit as opposed to sort of simply holding these physical gold or silver bars in a vault that you can't use, you can't spend, you don't have access to the liquidity on them.
Okay. And these various allocations, these yields, give me a feel for what I might expect if, for example, I was to hold £1,000 worth of tokens over, I don't know, a year.
I mean, it's tough to say. There's a lot of assumptions that go into that. We do have on our website, and I would encourage anyone that's interested to take a look at our website, kinesis.money. We do have some projected future financials on that, especially under our blueprint, which delves a lot into these. Again, from that, you can contact our team. We do even have editable documents that you can take a look at there. But for me to kind of go into those numbers on a call like this is pretty difficult. And we've also got a fantastic Telegram channel where a lot of people have put a lot of work into various assumptions and various work around how these yields might work, what assumptions they might play out in. I'd really say that's probably the best way to get a look at how these yields might play out.
Yeah, I think I accept what you say, but I think a lot of people, will be looking for just some kind of feel on that, and the best place to go is those blueprints, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, so we have a blueprint. It's very in depth. It does show a lot of the calculations. We have, for first-time people taking a look at this, we have a summary presentation. Obviously, we have our white paper on there too. There is some very good information around this on our website.
Okay, so comparing, this the card you mentioned Presumably that's going to be pretty much in the mainstream, so accepted widely because it's, I don't know, Visa or MasterCard or something. I'm guessing you can't tell me at the moment, so I won't press you on it. And you haven't jumped in, so so I definitely won't press you on it. But why would I do this rather than just a normal bank account?
Well, I think there's a few reasons behind that. You know, for myself, I also come from the you know, a portfolio management background, and personally, I see a benefit, and we've got also information around this available too. A benefit in having a portion of a portfolio held in an asset like physical gold or silver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, over time, it has shown benefits in high inflation environments. You look at many, or there have been instances very recently of countries around the world imposing bail-ins on their banks. You look at, you know, certain countries with currency crises. That's very pertinent at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's why, I suppose, you know, you never know where that might happen next. You never know who might be subject to the next bail-in. There's uncertainty everywhere from Venezuela to Turkey to Brexit. Why would I not hold some of my my banking, my currency in one of the oldest and safest forms, physical gold or silver?
Okay, I see some force in that argument. And what about availability around the world?
Availability around the world in terms of?
In terms of this, which territories will this be available in?
Well, we've got very wide reach. Obviously, in some jurisdictions, we do have limitations based on government not allowing their citizens to invest in cryptocurrencies. We have obviously respected those laws, but generally, we've got many investors in what we're selling at the moment, which is the Kinesis Velocity token. Which is not based on physical gold and silver. Instead, amongst other things, it provides the holders of this KVT, the Kinesis Velocity token, a 20% share of the revenues from the Kinesis monetary system. We've sold over 15 million USD of these to date, worth of these. We've got investors from all around the world in these already. So truly global reach on this. Okay,
so let's just make sure we're really clear for listeners on the three different tokens I think were mentioned. So there's the KAU, AU being gold, and the KAG, AG being silver. They represent the underlying value of those metals, yeah?
Yes, correct. So KAU gold, which represents 1 gram of silver physically stored in a vault. The KAG, 10 grams of silver physically stored in a vault. And then the Kinesis Velocity token. And the Kinesis
Velocity token is a what? Is it a utility token or is it a security token?
So it is a utility token. Obviously, there are, you know, I'm not a lawyer, and there are some jurisdictions that may classify it as otherwise. But you know, we're as a Cayman entity, it is Kinesis is a Cayman entity. It is a utility token.
Okay, so let's talk about where you are in your cycle now. How far away are we from my becoming the proud owner of a debit card from you? Where are you in terms of development? Where are you in terms of your ICO?
So in terms of our ICO, or actually we're calling it an initial token offering for the Kinesis Velocity token. We've got another 16 days of our pre-sale remaining. And then from there we go into 2 months of our public sale. So that begins on the 10th of September and goes until the 11th of November. So for the next 16 days, we're still offering a 2.5% discount off the Kinesis Velocity token. From there, we go into the public sale. After that, so immediately after that, 12th of November, we actually allow people to start purchasing the Kinesis currencies, the KAU, the gold currency, and the KAG, the silver currency.
Okay, so that's soon, towards the end of this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as I mentioned, a lot of the infrastructure, the technology, we've come from this gold and silver space. We're not a company who is trying to raise money and then go and figure out the gold market to get everything and then develop the tech behind it. No, we've come from that space. We've got a very strong track record there, and we're using that knowledge and expertise to deliver something truly evolutionary. So, and then you touched earlier on the card as well. So, again, we've already announced our partners on that. There's more information even on our website under the partners section on there too, about our partners on the debit card.
Okay, so how soon can I have mine, please?
Well, you're gonna have to get in initially and purchase some of these the currencies, the KAU currencies. We're looking at the public sale available for the currencies starting. Let me just confirm that date for you quickly, from the 1st of March 2019. So it'll be around that sort of time that we'd expect to have that debit card available too. So when everyone can get in and participate in this, around that sort of time should be when we're able to roll out the card. Okay,
sounds fascinating. Can't wait to get my hands on that personally. So just coming back to the Velocity token briefly though, so I would buy this now, and what would I use that for? Because that's not to go buy coffee with, is it? I'll need to buy some of the other tokens to do that. So why would I buy that? Tell me.
So you'd buy this if you believe that we're onto a good thing here, right? You'd buy this for a number of reasons. One being any potential capital appreciation in the value of the Kinesis Velocity token. And as I mentioned, you're also eligible to receive a proportionate share based on obviously how many of these Kinesis Velocity tokens you own, a proportionate share of 20% of the revenues generated from the Kinesis monetary system. So you've got the capital appreciation element, you've got the ongoing revenue stream element. If you believe in the system, you believe that we've got the team to pull it off and the technology and the expertise, this is a way to get exposure to that.
Okay, so those two elements, the one sounds like a dividend a little bit, and how frequently will that be paid?
So that's monthly.
Okay, and in terms of liquidity, what's the plan for the KVT itself?
So we've actually been already approached by and have approached multiple other exchanges in terms of listing this on that. We've obviously got the exchange expertise I keep referencing, where we're developing the Kinesis blockchain exchange, so we'd be able to list that on there. So we're very confident in being able to deliver liquidity around both the KVT and our Kinesis currencies.
But is there a time scale on that, or timetable?
Yeah, we've anticipate being able to list that on these secondary exchanges very soon after the conclusion of our public sale.
Okay, so this sounds to me like a really interesting development, and something I'm going to be watching with great interest, if not actually participating in, which is quite likely. But what else can you tell us about it? If there's one thing at the end of this interview, we're sort of coming towards the end, that you'd like people to sort of take away from our discussion, or anything that we haven't touched on yet, what would that be?
I'd say, keep an eye on this space. Every week we have some, very exciting announcements and very exciting news and very exciting updates that we're very proud to share. Something like our Medium page, we've got a lot of news and updates on there. Some of the highlights recently would include our CEO's interview with Bart Chilton on Boom Bust. We've got new partnerships that we announce all the time. We're in South Korea for a very exciting week of meetings with partners and investors next week. Keep an eye on the space, keep an eye on the developments. It's a very exciting place to be for us, and we're very excited about the upcoming days, weeks, and months ahead in delivering on Kinesis. Great.
Okay. Well, that's been a fascinating insight. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan Case of Kinesis. Let me just repeat the website, which is Kinesis Money.
Kinesis.money.
Kinesis.money, where the blueprint and the white papers and everything else is to be had. One I meant to mention, you're still whitelisting?
So we're in pre-sale, which is at a 2.5% discount to the public sale price. People can come in, investors, participants can come in now and go through the full application and purchase process already. So we've been going through that already.
So the whitelist is still open?
Yeah, completely.
Great. Okay, well, thanks again. And I look forward to seeing this innovation taking its place, and indeed to seeing the first Kinesis card. Ryan Case, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me, Barry.
ICO Radio was brought to you by author, speaker, transparency and clarity advocate, and award-winning software innovator Barry James. Get in touch with the programme, put yourself or someone else forward as a guest. Visit iconewsdesk.com. And if you've enjoyed the show, please leave a review. And don't forget to subscribe to get your next insights and interviews from the ICO Radio podcast.